founder and headmaster of Sparhawk School. Dear guests, if you know any one of our students, you know something about Sparhawk School's values. If you could know them all, as we do, you would see Sparhawk's philosophy and purpose made manifest through them. Later, when our advisors share their reflections on individual graduates, you'll know what I mean. You'll learn more about the students that you've come here today to honor and about their peers. You will also gain insight into the Sparhawk community that has strengthened them individually and collectively. For those of you unfamiliar with Sparhawk School, the shortest distillation of our philosophy is honoring children and celebrating ideas. Our purpose is to provide a foundation of academic strength, to facilitate critical and creative thinking, and, perhaps most importantly, to nurture qualities of character in our students that will sustain them throughout their lifetime, whatever challenges and adventures may come. Sparhawk School will be 20 years old next September. This year's graduates have an interesting and never-to-be-repeated place in that historical context. The Sparhawk class of 2013 includes several students who were born in 1994, the very same year that Sparhawk was founded. You could say that we have grown up together in this particular year and with this particular graduating class. That is literally the case. I've known two of them since their infancy. Some of this year's seniors have been with us since kindergarten and first grade. Several came to Sparhawk for the first time in their middle school years, while others joined us for high school. Some for all 4 years, some more recently. One of our graduates came for just 1 year, all the way from China. She's already gone home, so we had an early graduation for her. No matter when they came to us, every one of these students added something rare and essential to the whole. Certainly, as a predictable part of the adolescent journey, they have traversed smooth and at times rough roads to get to this graduation destination. But they've worked hard, and they have earned our esteem and this diploma. And while these students were evolving, Sparhawk has also been growing. Growing with them, growing for them, and growing because of them. It may be clear to you what I mean by growing with them. It probably is clear what I mean by growing for them. You might not know what I mean about growing because of them. This group has been very unique for us. They have challenged us, inspired us, driven us, advised us, and because we respected them, we've listened. This interactive, generative, and mutually reinforcing process has been a constant throughout our years together, and it is part of the very special bond between these particular young people and each of us at Sparhawk. Really, it has been quite singular. I wish I could see you better. My dear young friends, I am awash with emotion as I prepare to say goodbye to you. I will miss you more than you can imagine. Even as I look back, cherishing memories of your time with us, you're already on your way, looking forward, as it should be, eager for a new level of independence and responsibility in the greater world. Our guardianship is finished. Our job now is to shake your hands and cheer you on as you venture forth toward a new horizon that for the first time really is all your own. Despite the poignancy of the moment, I feel a quiet assurance. This is good. This is right. It is time. You are ready. I wish you success in your endeavors. I also hope your lives will be filled with adventures, mysteries, and joyous serendipity, in addition to success in all the practical arenas in life. There will also be challenges, of course, lessons to be learned. Remember in those moments that change and a degree of unpredictability are necessary spices of a full life. Just embrace it all. And finally, as you leave this Sparhawk Harbor, we send the blessings of our community. May you chart your own course using your heart as a compass. May you chase understanding with vigor and purpose, and sing with the voices of your opportunities. May you savor many vistas and speak the innumerable languages of wonder. And lastly, may you know that the beacon of Sparhawk will still shine your way, and that you are always welcome in the harbor. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Anna Donning up for our first student honors speech.
If there's one thing that Caitlin taught me in my first semester poetry class, it is to always clarify my abstractions with concrete images. Though I wrote some of my best poetry in these few months, I do not think I can describe the word passion as well as Pablo Neruda, who wrote, "As if you were on fire from within, the moon lives in the lining of your skin." It is with this illustration in mind that I use the term when I say that the overarching sentiment put forth by my senior class in our time at Sparhawk was passion. This year, the most prominent recurring conversation I had with my friend Chloe Dealey was about how much we enjoyed spending time with people who had found something to impassion them. As I look out into the rows of fellow graduates before me, I see that I am surrounded by such people. When I first came to Sparhawk in March of my junior year, I felt as if I was waking up from a long hibernation. My peers' desire to question and learn, and my teachers' spirited approach to their subjects rekindled in me that exact desire and spirit that had lain dormant for over a year. We all had different stories to tell of how we came to inhabit these halls, but we did seem to agree on one thing. Sparhawk had something to offer us that other places did not, and we actively opened ourselves to its influence. By the time my junior year ended, I certainly felt as if small matches had been placed inside of me by classmates and teachers who had the simple but eager urge to share with me in their passions. I found this attitude to be delightfully contagious. By the time I returned to school in September of my final year, I was, to paraphrase Neruda, aflame. The Sparhawk class of 2013 is a group of individuals. I do not use the word individuals lightly. I mean that many of the members of this class have strong personalities, strong voices, and strong ideas that they desperately and fervently want to be heard and executed. We are fiercely passionate about our separate opinions, sometimes even to the point of heated debate. That is the drawback, I suppose, of passion. It is hard to let go of a grand design for which others do not share your enthusiasm. And yet the reason I use the oxymoronic term group of individuals is because the most amazing aspect of our class is our ability to ultimately cooperate and either put aside or adapt our separate visions to contribute to a collective vision and make something beautiful. We channel that strong feeling into a collective oneness in whatever we choose to do. From the senior prank and senior t-shirts to bringing our all for Spirit Week and contributing pages to the yearbook, we have executed our plans with grace and a shared want to make our last year the best we possibly can for ourselves and our school. For that, I am immensely proud and grateful to be a part of this class. Today is the last day our class will gather as a whole in the present VR. However, I, for one, can say that what I will become in the span of an hour, a Sparhawk graduate, of what I will become even in the span of the next year, will stem from this moment as I stand here before my fellow seniors, my teachers, a finished product of the excellent education I received from both circles. Our class has inherited the Sparhawk gift of exciting those around us with what makes us excited. I look at each of my classmates and I see that you have all ignited. When I imagine our departure from this place, I see streaks of light shooting out from one brilliant source. Keep hold of that rare capacity to find the wonder in everything you encounter and to pass it on to others. It is the part of all of you that I celebrate the most, because with it you have reminded me how it feels to be inspired, and you have used it to teach me the inexhaustible value of turning my inner fire loose on the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Our next speaker is Stephen Brannon.
As many of you know, I like wizards. I look like a wizard, and so I'm very happy to be standing in front of you today wearing my wizard robes. Before I begin, I have a lot of teachers I want to thank. First, though I'm pretty sure he isn't here, I'd like to thank Chuck for inspiring me to ask questions. I'd like to thank Caitlin and Louise for backing me up when I think I asked too many questions. I'd like to thank Kathleen and Emily for teaching me since I was in middle school. Louise, thank you for being an amazing history teacher. Tori, thanks for just getting things. Finally, I'd like to thank my first teachers, who were my parents. So thanks, Mom and Dad. As I was thinking about writing this speech, I found myself always returning to the same fundamental question. What is Sparhawk? As I reflected, I couldn't come up with a unifying, profound answer. Sparhawk is a shelter for some, a place of freedom for others, and I know for a few it can feel like a prison. It's a school, obviously, but I think a majority of its defining characteristics are non-academic, or at least directly. Yet, the thing one takes when leaving Sparhawk is, at least for me, distinctly intellectual. Could that be the answer to the question, then? Is Sparhawk fundamentally a place of intellectual enrichment? No, that couldn't be it. It leaves out too much while simultaneously not delving deep enough. I continued in this way again and again, exploring possibilities that might answer my question. If not in the academics, perhaps a more satisfying answer could be found in the community. Or maybe it's just the teachers, or the students. Maybe Louise simply exudes Sparhawk's distinctive energy as she sits in her office. All of these seemed like they could answer the question at first, but they were never satisfying. Underlying it all was something greater, some fundamental element of which all things Sparhawk are composed. Certain events feel more like Sparhawk than others. They tend to have an air of ridiculousness about them. Seeing one advising group dress up as zombies and invade another serves as a good example. And so too does watching one's principal struggle not to crash a giant purple van into parked expensive sports cars. In fact, the mere sight of the teal and purple vans exudes Sparhawk's unique charm. May Day too exudes the feeling, though I still cannot quite say why. Pontificating about all the fun, wacky things I've seen and done at Sparhawk definitely makes me feel good about the school, but it doesn't bring me any closer to my answer. So then I think, perhaps I wasn't being modern enough. Maybe I should crowdsource the question. I'd like to take a moment to offer you, the greater Sparhawk community, a dedicated moment to thinking about what Sparhawk is to you. What is Sparhawk? I'm sure a lot of you have come up with some kind of answer or reflected on some of the experience you've had here, but I'm willing to bet that none of you came up with the same answer. Sparhawk, of course, will be and mean different things to different people. Yet, underlying it all, there's still something else that it has in common. I think now that I may have been asking the wrong question. The problem with the question, what is Sparhawk, is that it only focuses on what there is and what has been experienced. But I think Sparhawk's strength lies in the things that can, will, and do continue to come out of everything it offers and everyone it brings together. What is Sparhawk? It's a million things. What is special about Sparhawk? Potential. It's potential, the potential of its students, the potential of the community. Sparhawk gives one opportunities, freedoms, and the support to take advantage of them. The difference between a Sparhawk class and a class at some other school is that while the other class might talk about how nice having class outside would be, the Sparhawk class actually just goes outside. There's no one standing there making sure they're doing it this way or that way. The school's just happy that things like that are being done. The fundamental aspect of Sparhawk's multifaceted existence isn't about sitting back and experiencing things. Sparhawk is about doing things. It's about making things. To all of the students who are coming back next year, I want you to know this. Sparhawk's biggest weakness is simultaneously its biggest strength. One gets out what one puts in. Take advantage of it. Put something in. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I get to begin the faculty speeches. I had the honor of being the advisor for 6 of the graduating seniors. So I will begin with the first 3 here. Devin Bebout. Yes. There are people who dream things and then walk away from those dreams. And then there are people like Devin. I remember the day that I interviewed her. She sat on the old pink couch in the admissions office in our old building. Devin engaged me with her detailed and determined dream to go to Smith College. Rarely do I encounter an 8th grader so confident and with such a specific goal for college. Devin spoke excitedly of going to Smith and majoring in either writing or music. I turned to Louise after I finished the interview and said, "We need that kid." In her sophomore year, Devin still worked determinedly towards her goal of Smith. We met frequently to discuss the merits of emailing an admissions officer, and she attended open houses. And on top of everything, Devin made time to excel academically, forge close friendships with her peers, construct a Trojan horse, write and perform songs, and be a strong, unassuming presence at Sparhawk. In her final 2 years, with college looming on the horizon, Devin began to doubt her path towards Smith. She started to preface college conversations with, "I probably won't get in, but I guess I will still apply." What she didn't realize is that the foundation of academic excellence and unique personal experiences, her clear work ethic and compassionate personality, already made her a viable candidate for such a venerable institution. Devin, the day you got into Smith was not only the fulfillment of a dream, but an example of what hard work and community involvement can bring. You do not just dream your dreams idly. You make them a reality, and that is something to be proud of. I've been honored to be your advisor, and I'm grateful for the many years of laughter, all the tea, oh so much tea, the poetry, and the opportunity to see you become a young woman who stands before us graduating with honors. While you have earned your place at Smith, they are lucky to have you. I heard about Stephen Brannon, the man, the myth, the legend, before I met him. 5 years ago, Steve started taking his math classes in the high school, and one day in the faculty lounge, Kathleen turned to me and said, "We're going to run out of math classes before Steve graduates. I have to start working on something now." He was in 8th grade at the time. See, Steve was a precocious young man. Academic understanding comes fast to him. There has, and I suspect there always will be, little that Steve encounters academically that he cannot figure out. Your intellect, Steve, is a gift, but the thing I am most proud of you for is your humanity. Because while we could give you access to an intellectual curriculum, you were born with an ability to understand academic rigor. It's been our challenge, our privilege, and our gift to help you become a wiser, more engaged person. I have long appreciated your candor and interest in bettering yourself and your community, often in ways that are not easily visible and never for show. The young man who stands before us today questions not only his surroundings, but also his own preconceived notions. And I've had the great pleasure of knowing you are not just a smart kid. You're funny. You have a strange love for bacon. Really does. You feel things far more deeply than you let on. I will miss your presence in advising, but know that you will be successful at Wesleyan. I wish for you many adventures. Go and travel places that are not obvious. Take classes out of your comfort zone. Do not accept apathy and the status quo when the status quo isn't working. And never, ever stop looking for deeper meaning in yourself and others. And don't ever forget that you are a good person, and I have been honored to know you. When Chloe Dealey was an 8th grader, she was already very, very cool. She was this 13-year-old, fully formed person who thought for herself, dressed as she pleased, and always seemed comfortable being who she was. When rumors started to spread that she might transfer instead of coming to the high school, I started the Chloe Dealey recruitment strategy. The strategy mostly consisted of begging. There was no way we wanted to lose Chloe. When we got word that she was matriculating to the high school, there was much celebrating amongst the faculty. See, Chloe was the kind of kid you wanted around, and she's grown into a young woman with the same charm. She's someone who's confident but not arrogant, intelligent and inquisitive. Chloe is creative. She has taken just about every type of class we've offered across the disciplines for the sheer challenge and curiosity that is so inherently part of her nature. But I've had the luck to be her creative writing teacher, and let me tell you this, Chloe is talented and skilled. She writes in ways that lets the reader know she sees and thinks about everything. Her poems are often meditations on the natural world and insightful studies on the human condition. I often found myself reading her work and thinking, I wish I wrote that line. And in the writing world, there is no higher praise. In advising, I've enjoyed Chloe's humor, her ability to forgive herself a wasted moment, and don't let anyone tell you that that is not a gift, and her genuine interest in other people's lives. I have seen her extend small kindnesses to her peers with consistent grace. But what I've enjoyed most this year is our shared love of Wes Anderson films. So Chloe, as you go off and take Hampshire College by storm, In the immortal words of Rushmore, just remember they can buy anything, but they can't buy backbone. Don't forget it. Thank you, Chloe. I'm so glad you stayed. I'm so proud of the success you've achieved, and I can't wait to learn about the next chapter in your life. Our next speaker will be Emily White. Good evening, everyone. This class will forever hold a special place in my heart. 4 years ago, we came to the high school together, so it is particularly hard for me to see them move on. You are an amazing group of students with so many wonderful gifts to give. You are a talented bunch, whether it is on the stage or behind the scenes, on the water or in the air, in the classroom or in the greater community. You have demonstrated superior skills and have seen Sparhawk through many memorable moments, which I will cherish forever. Jacob Rapido. You're a little different than the average teenager and had planned to make your grand entry today by air. However, Mother Nature does not always cooperate with even the best set plans. Yet part of being a responsible pilot is having the flexibility to alter your flight plan when dark clouds gather. You, Jake, will be a great pilot. I did, however, have the honor of watching you take your first solo flight and stood there in awe of your bravery, depth of knowledge, and sense of accomplishment. It was apparent in that moment that your steadfast determination and willingness to work hard towards your goals allowed you to literally soar. These traits also apply to you as a student. You are led by your passions and truly engage yourself when your interests are piqued. You have taught us that no obstacles will keep you from attaining your objective. You are strong, you are smart, and your easygoing manner brings a calm to those around you. You are mindful to details and helpful to others in the classroom. Your youthful spirit has brought joy to many in this community. As Richard Bach, an author and pilot himself, once said, never stop being a kid. Never stop feeling and seeing and being excited with great things like air and engines and sounds of sunlight within you. You have a bright and radiant future ahead of you, Jake, and we will miss you dearly. You have shown remarkable growth this year, both as a student and a vocal member of our community. I believe a turning point for you was our winterim trip to Costa Rica in January. You returned to school with a renewed sense of ownership over your studies and heightened confidence in your abilities. Your love of the theater has placed you in the spotlight on many occasions, both here at school and in the greater community. And there, I have seen you shine, naturally and brightly. You chose to do your production class scene this spring on friendship and the impact that one life can have on another. It is fitting, because you have impacted us in so many great ways. As Stephen Schwartz wrote in his song from that scene, I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn. And we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. You came into our lives and helped this class flourish with your unique sense of humor, constant dramatic dialogue, and your essence of spirit. Chelsea, you've always said you wanted to wear a tiara and be a princess. Yet it is your strong leadership, confidence, and intense compassion that make you royal. never forget the first time I saw you up on this stage reciting a poem. It was just last spring, and you had only been here for a matter of weeks. You blew me away with your ability to capture an audience and engage the crowd. I thought, who is this girl? And boy, are we lucky to have her in our midst. It was remarkable to see how brave you were and still are today, and to witness the ease with which you integrated into our community and became an essential part of our lives. You came to Sparhawk at a time when you needed a new beginning, but also at a time when we needed someone like you. You brightened our halls with your laughter, brought us happiness, and served it up with a side of sass, and reminded us that it's okay to work hard, to take great pride in your accomplishments, and to challenge yourself every day. Your positive demeanor, outstanding work ethic, and creative thinking combined into a formula for success. You have an open mind and a kind heart. You give more than you receive. And although you've only been here for a little over a year, your impact on this community is immeasurable. Thank you, Emily. Our next speaker is Luis Moreno.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to thank you, William Cooper, and the class of 2013 for the privilege, the honor of standing before you, all of you today. Once the author G.K. Chesterton remarked the following words: "Thanks are the highest forms of thought." I will read it again. Thanks are the highest forms of thought. Nothing truly remarkable and sensational can come to fruition if it is not a consequence of gratitude. If there is a student who is the exemplary personification of gratitude, that student is William Cooper. William, you have exemplified the type of student who can be academically hardworking and accomplished while maintaining a heartfelt, joyful spirit. Dearest William, you haven't taken anything for granted. I will never forget the many instances in which you have already done very well in many of my assignments and various projects, and boom, you were there, next to my desk, with a tremendous smile splashed on your face, and making sure that your project or assignment had indeed met the standards of excellence. Likewise, I will never forget the many instances in which you eagerly shared your passions for roller coaster engineering, your passion for ornithology, in case that we have forgotten what ornithology is, it is simply the scientific study of birds. You never stop yourself from sharing these passions with the entire Sparhawk community. You made our lives more joyful, and I really thank you for that. With honesty, integrity, and a tremendous enthusiasm for living as your beacons, You can step forward, and you will step forward into the world with increased strength to guide yourself and others in the field of your chosen vocation. William Cooper, life, as my colleague Joe clearly pointed out, is like a roller coaster, with its sharp turns, sudden drops, and abrupt reversals. And yet, I believe that with the gifts you have, your life will lead you towards bettering our society and our world. Do continue to teach, dear William Cooper, that gratitude is indeed the highest form of thought. God bless you, good luck to you, and I wish you the best of the best. Today, we are standing on the edge, on the cliff of the future. It's not a dream or a project anymore. The future is really here, right now. And to be more precise, the future is standing next to one of my dearest students, Morgan Escalera. Morgan, you began your high school career as a very young teen with wild expectations and unsure about how to best blend in our campus. Now, you are leaving us as a self-assured, brilliant and young man, eager, willing, and ready to make a journey along your own path, and I will miss you. Morgan, I will never forget the many instances in which you offered yourself to help and guide your fellow students around our campus, whether to clarify assignments or to appease anxiety before exams. You were truly exemplary when offering comfort. And talking about the future, and regardless of what you do, there are challenges. There will be challenges ahead. However, I do not have any doubts that in college and beyond college, you will have the ability to exhibit high levels of dedication, get fully engaged, and use the entirety of your energy towards the fulfillment of your ambitions. I am confident that you will be capable of crossing the fire to continue to grow into the individual that you are meant to be. Challenges will not paralyze you because you will take them as occasions to double your faith and commitment. Morgan, I know you have all the potential to intensify your intellectual gifts and even your vocation for public service. I know you won't shy away from the demands of sacrifice and wishing for others what is best for them. I know, Morgan, that you won't shy away from wanting to embrace the entire universe with its wild planets and constellations, because you know that, again, as the English author G.K. Chesterton remarked, the crowd of stars seemed bent upon being understood. I will really miss you, Morgan. God bless you, good luck to you, and I wish you the best of the best.
Thank you, Luis. Our next speaker is Tori Stella.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I have the privilege of speaking about three of our exceptional graduates, Kelly O'Donnell, Kylie Selkirk, and Catherine Finley. Kelly, you are quite simply the most resilient and hardworking student I have ever taught. I am astounded by how much effort I saw you put forth, not only in my classes, but in every class. And on top of this, you found extra time to pursue your interest in graphic design while managing a demanding workload here at Sparhawk. You are an exceptional young woman who has already learned one of the most important lessons in life, that hard work and determination are required to achieve your goals. In this, you are head and shoulders above most students your age. And yet, you have also managed to be one of the most cheerful members of the Sparhawk community. I can't help but marvel at your large collection of animal hats, and have also asked myself how you managed to find 102 rubber ducks to put in the student center. 50 probably would have sufficed for the prank. But if there is one thing I have learned about you this year, it's that you never give less than 100% in anything you do. Kylie. While I wasn't here your first year, I have been told that one of the first experiences the teachers had with you was up in a tree. You had swiftly climbed to the top of the tree, seeing the school, your peers, and yourself from an alternative vantage point. In the year that I have gotten to know you, you have always impressed me with your unique take on the world, which is also reflected in your inimitable fashion sense. I was particularly impressed with the beautiful college essay you wrote. As I recall, it was no small struggle for you to write about yourself, but in the end, the product was beautiful and true to you. As you move forward, I hope that you remember that it is important to maintain your unique point of view, and that people who love you and respect you will never ask you to change that point of view, but rather appreciate you all the more for it. Catherine. In you, I have come to know a woman of exceptional insight. A gifted writer, you never fail to amaze me with your eloquence and your understanding of human nature. It is because of these gifts that I believe you will succeed as a writer. You recently wrote, "The size and nature of Sparhawk lends itself to becoming a kind of bubble where the strange and the ordinary are nearly one and the same." I do hope you realize that we at Sparhawk have been privileged to see you thrive in this mix of the strange and the ordinary, and to become the incredible young woman you are today. As you move on to the next chapter of your life, I want you to know that what you say deserves to be heard, because it is important that we listen to those who are able to beautifully articulate the truth. On a final note, as Kelly, Kylie, Catherine, and the other graduates move on to new challenges, I'd like to remind them that the great writer Kurt Vonnegut once said, "I urge you to please notice when you are happy, and exclaim or murmur or think at some point, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is." Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Tori. At this time, I'd like to invite Nora Tinty, Rachel Perry, and Carla McDonough to the stage. Are you doing this on the stage? No. By the piano, never mind. We can all look towards the piano, and Kathleen Petrowitz will be accompanying them for our musical interlude.
Hello. I just wanted to kind of tell you why I chose this song for this particular class. But first, I wanted to say thank you very much to Kathleen, who jumped in to help us on the piano. And I wanted to thank very much Rachel and Carla for going above and beyond. Extra work, yay, learning this song. And as always, it's been a treat to work with you two. So the name of the song is "You Are the New Day." And I felt that it was fitting for this particular class. Because this signifies an ending for you, and there are many endings in life, and there are many reasons to give up. But don't do it. I want you to embody hope, and I want you to remember to start each day not as if it's a chore, not as if, thinking about what you have to do, but more what you could bring to the table.